Alright guys, let's get into it. Today we are looking at Mafia, The Last Man Standing. This is a standalone expansion for Mafia Definitive. It's edition from 2020. It was developed by 24 Entertainment and published by Deep Silver. The game is set in the same universe as Mafia Definitive Edition, but there are no overlapping characters or story elements. The gameplay is also different from the original game, as this is an online multiplayer-only experience. It has been out for about a month now, so there are already a couple of updates under its belt. But here's the thing. If you don't have any friends to play with, you can't really do anything. You're completely locked out from the game modes, which isn't cool. This is one of those weird situations where the single-player aspect of a game gets more attention than the multiplayer. Even though this is supposed to be a multiplayer-focused title, I've seen a few people trying to find lobbies, but it doesn't seem like many people are playing this at all. The premise of the game is simple. We have two teams, the Mafia family and the police force. The Mafia obviously wants to keep their criminal empire thriving, and the cops want to put them all behind bars where they belong. The police force starts with fewer officers than the Mafia family, but they will eventually get reinforcements. There's also a bunch of special roles that can be unlocked. These include snipers, SWAT medics, hitmen, and informants. Snipers can be called in by the police force when they get enough stars. They come in and lay down some suppressing fire and try to take out some mobsters. However, there's actually a hitman role as well, so it can go either way. Informants are a little bit trickier because they're undercover mobsters. Basically, you need to watch your back if you're an informant. So far, everything seems fine and dandy, right? What could possibly go wrong? Well, it turns out the cops were able to arrest a member of the Mafia family and turn him into an informant. That guy just so happens to be the boss. So he knows all the special ability cooldowns, knows what everyone is doing, and he knows where to go to make things happen. Basically, it's impossible for the Mafia family to win against this guy. The other problem is that the police keep getting reinforcements. Their team size increases over time. There's also no real challenge in winning rounds either. You just need to survive for 10 minutes to get a victory, which isn't exactly challenging. Even if you are playing on the harder difficulties, it still comes down to simply surviving. Now, I don't know how long 10 minutes feels like when you're being shot at nonstop, but I'm guessing it's quite a while. And here's another huge problem. The game has no replay value whatsoever. All maps are identical. They all have the same objectives, and they all have the same outcome. Why would I bother playing again if I know what is going to happen? The game doesn't get harder. It just becomes more tedious. I'm not sure why anybody would want to test their luck in this situation. Another problem is that there's no matchmaking system, which means that you need to have friends who own the game and who are active whenever you want to play. If none of your friends own the game, you're simply out of luck. You can't invite random people or join random games. It's a shame because the game itself looks great. The visuals are crisp and clean and they really remind me of the original Mafia games. It runs smooth as butter on my PC and I haven't experienced any bugs or glitches yet. I played about 6 games total, which took me about 2 hours. And during those 2 hours, I had a blast. But as soon as those 2 hours were up, I uninstalled the game. It is honestly quite funny how bad this game is. I mean, I knew it was going to be a letdown before I purchased it, but I didn't think it could get any worse than this. So we have a near-flawless Mafia game with excellent graphics and gameplay, and then we have this abomination that is trying to piggyback off of its success. If they just made this a single-player game where you play as the informant, it would be so much better. I mean, that's literally the best part of the game. Being the informant is super fun. Knowing everything gives you a sense of power that the game just doesn't deliver on. Now, don't get me wrong, the police officers are having fun too, but it's not nearly as fun as being the informant. You're just running around shooting at people. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's a little bit less impactful when you know that the people you're re-shooting at aren't really doing anything to defend themselves. Sure, they might get a few lucky shots in, but for the most part, they're just running around like headless chickens. I'm pretty sure this game was rushed out to make some quick cash off of the success of the Definitive Edition. Maybe they were trying to ride that high for a little bit longer, but this game is a complete failure. It doesn't matter whether you're playing as the Mafia family or the police force. Both sides are equally bored. I mean, look at these maps. Every single one of them is exactly the same. The neutral areas don't change. The police station and the safe houses always spawn in the same place. The objectives never change. Everything is exactly the same. And that brings us to our first major problem. None of these maps have any variety. They're all set in the same city, and they all feel the same. Every single map has a warehouse, a construction site, a gas station, and a couple of houses. I guess the developers were going for realism, but there are too many empty spaces and no landmarks. It makes absolutely no sense. For example, in Los Santos, we have mountains everywhere, and beaches, but here there's nothing. It's just houses, warehouses, and roads. Oh, and don't forget about the police tape. Every single objective will be surrounded by police tape. It's just an extra step that serves no purpose. You guys should be able to interact with objects in the world, but you can't. You can shoot at it, but that's about it. This game has so much potential, but it just wasn't executed properly. Like I said before, if this was a single-player game, it would be so much better. You could have the same exact gameplay loop and the same exact maps, but it would be much more enjoyable. I'm not sure how they could have done that, since there is no single-player campaign in Definitive Edition, but maybe they could have made something new, like a spin-off or something. And then we have the lack of polish. There are just things that didn't need to be in this game. For example, there are cutscenes. I don't understand why they included cutscenes in this game. It's a competitive multiplayer title. Who decided that cutscenes were a good idea? There are 3 cutscenes total, but they're all unskippable. This adds about 5 minutes of useless footage to the game. 5 minutes that could have been spent playing instead. The end. And then we have the lobby. The lobby is just a complete waste of time. You spawn in with a bunch of random people and then nothing happens. You can type in the chat and you can buy cosmetic items, but that's about it. Oh, and you can also see the leaderboards. But other than that, there's nothing to do. You'll just stand there until the game decides to start. I honestly don't know what to say about this game. It's a complete mess. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's fun to play for a little bit. It's fun to betray your friends and get a few kills, but that's about it. As soon as the novelty wears off, you're left with a broken game that offers nothing. If you have a bunch of friends who are interested in this game, then go ahead and get it. You'll probably have a lot of fun together. But if you're like me and you don't have any friends, steer clear. You're not missing out on much. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this game. It's a complete failure, and I don't know how anyone can defend it. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you're new here. I'll see you in the next one.